What's happening? My name is Blake Harris, and this is the Music City Mindset. And I would like to welcome you to this remarkable recap episode. The last couple weeks have been absolutely crazy around here. Everybody's been busy. One of the beautiful things about Nashville and it being an it city is that there's always something going on. There's been events back to back to back to back, and it's not stopping. And at some point, just got to sit back, decompress, and kind of process these opportunities and these things that are happening. It's been so fun to be a part of some of the newer things in Nashville, the things that are growing, and to be involved on the ground floor with all of this has been absolutely amazing experience. Now that I have this platform, I have to finally use this to make like more of a public statement of realizing that these cool things I'm doing, these opportunities are allowing me to live what seems to be, compared to where I came from, the luckiest life that I could ever imagine living right now. The fact that I'm doing the things that I'm doing is beyond any kind of thought of what I would be doing at this point in my life. And as much as that sounds like I'm bragging on myself, I can't go any further without thanking the people that I've put around me. This is not just a one-man show. Everybody from the gym, my partners, the members, my clients, volunteers, the athletes that show up at the competition. It's showing the people that buy in. And I can't do what I'm doing here without people buying into the vision of what we have planned and putting forth an effort and taking your time, your energy to do the events that I'm putting on, to sit here and listen to this podcast. It's just opening up so many doors. I couldn't run a show. We had 75 competitors. I couldn't have done that without the members showing up. My incredible girlfriend taking pictures, supporting what I'm trying to do, seeing my dreams, supporting my visions, and doing everything she can to help me do this. It is a absolute team effort. Everyone here at Nashville Fit and the Music City Mindset, being able to explain what I want to do and have people buy in and want to be a part of it, that then in turns allow us to have opportunities with, the new arena team that's back in town, the new wrestling federation that's local and here in town. Now we're getting to be a part of them when they're starting up, and it's just everything comes full circle. And I couldn't do this alone, and having people buy in to what we're doing has been so fulfilling and so rewarding. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone, all of the volunteers, all of the athletes, everybody here at Nashville Fit. There's so many people I'm leaving out, but I just appreciate each and every one of y'all that allow me to live this stupid life that I'm living right now. But that being said, I want to thank y'all, and whole episode is going to just be filled with the gratitude, because the fact that I'm doing this is it just makes me so happy that I can do what I'm doing and do this, because this isn't how my life has always been. And kind of go off of that, someone that is here with me now, that's been with me from Jump Street, owner of Board and Brush in Hendersonville, a dude that's been beside me through not just these cool, awesome times here, that was here through the bad and the ugly, way before the good, before the gym, way before this podcast. I think a lot of people say, this is someone I would take a bullet for. Fortunately, for I guess us, maybe unfortunately, for our parents that are listening, I know that can be tested, because we've been in some situations that required that level amount of trust. My best friend, Evan Butler, welcome to the show. Yeah. Another week in. Dude, thanks for being here. I know you worked all day.
Man, it's crazy hearing you talk about the gratitude, because I'm still pinching myself, and I was thinking when you said that about all the doors that have opened. We went from kicking in doors to now people open them for us.
Yeah, I ain't got to touch the doors no more.
Like, am I awake? Is this a dream? And I feel like we're living the dream right now.
Mm-hmm.
We really are.
I was having an interesting conversation with some members of the gym that have also become friends. And it's one of those where, like, in the middle of the conversation, I wish you could have been there for, because it was people who don't understand or couldn't see the version of me that once was, because they see what we're doing now. We're seeing the impact. People are seeing the positivity. And it's, to me, when I look in the mirror, I see the growth of what once was. But for some people that only have met me now, it's hard for them to even envision what I say that it was. And someone said something along the lines of, like, I just can't imagine that you would have been in that situation. And I forgot what we were even talking about, but I could glaze over, and it wasn't all bad, you know. I didn't come from, you know, straight slums. But if I glazed over some of the details that you were there for most of these, you know, I'm someone in front of this microphone that's been robbed at gunpoint more than once. I've had to be pulled out of cars from car wrecks. I've totaled 3 cars. In a way, I was kind of held against my will in Romania with AK-47 shoved in my stomach, just for trying to be a Christian in that part of the world. You know, I've had my fair share of battles with substance abuse, and some nights that we had some close calls, and, you know, to end up at a situation where here I am now, I make more than enough money to pay my bills. We had one of the best months the gym's ever had. I'm making a real impact in people's lives and helping people. This podcast is popping off. It's opening doors and opportunities for even bigger, better people to talk to. The events that we get to be a part of. It's like, this is so crazy that we get to sit here together all these years later.
It's bigger than us. It
is. And now more than ever, and I'm going to bring this up publicly, I had a youth minister, Dave Mann, tell me at one point that if I could get my shit together, he didn't say shit, but if I could get my life together, and the powers between me and Evan, that we could start a revival. And I took that so literal as like an actual, like, go to church revival. And that just didn't seem like where I was trying to navigate with my life. And now with everything we have going on, it's like, I want to go see Dave Mann and be like, I get it now.
Right.
I get it.
I've thought about that moment a lot, because a lot of what you're saying, like, we went through great pain and now we appreciate the good times, and things are good. And we got out of our own way, as to speak. Like you said, it wasn't just straight slums.
Oh, so much of it was self-inflicted.
Right. We put ourselves in bad situations. We should both be dead or in jail. And I think that's why we appreciate it and start to see it. And then seeing somebody like him that knew back then, if they would focus this energy, instead of hurting people and hurt people, and put positivity behind it, we could have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, but things happen when they're meant to, and to see the growth, it's supernatural.
It is. There's times, and this might seem like a negative thought to some people, especially depending on what kind of negativity you've experienced in your life. But to me, it's the positive now because of the negative. Yeah. And realizing the gym was full the other day. The vibes were super high. And to sit there and realize that, like, if those canine dogs in Myrtle Beach would have done their job, I would have been hoping for parole by 2020, and COVID I probably would have gotten out. Right. But, like, nobody in this room. And it's getting to the point where every room I go in, if my life would have gone left at any of those moments, nobody in this room would be here right now.
Right.
You know, I mean, even right now. Like, in Myrtle Beach in 2010, if those dogs do their job, none of us right here are sitting here right now.
No, I mean, there's a lot of my addiction and my past that, like, you very much kept me alive. And there's a lot of the past before that I kept you alive.
Yeah.
But if you hadn't, if you can see the puzzle and you go, if one little piece wasn't placed in it, we wouldn't be on the road. There were so many different forks, so many different paths to take, and it's so many times feeling like doors getting shut in your face, non-opportunities, or you made a bad decision or this or that, and things held against you in the future. And then now to see like what all that pain, all that suffering led to, and something that could actually make the people that invested in us when we shouldn't have been invested in, like our family, our grandparents and people, that I actually feel like they would finally be proud and
Absolutely.
be like, that's who I raised right there.
I mean, I have the best relationship with my mother that I've ever had in my life. I mean, I got a straight dime piece that, tells me every day that, the type of love she has for me with who I am and what I'm doing, that like, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And the fact that I have that kind of love and positivity in my life right now, sometimes I don't feel like I deserve it.
I know it makes
it's a weird like combination of like survivor's guilt with imposter syndrome.
Yeah. I feel guilty sometimes. I feel undeserving.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful, sweet wife and 3 amazing kids that think I hung the moon, and it makes me emotional. But like, there's times I'm putting them to bed, and they're so sweet, and they're so excited when I get home, and I still remember who I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that survivor's guilt and guilt of things that like you can't go back and change. You wouldn't if you could, but you wish you'd have done things different. But like, just like Daddy's putting you to sleep, he's praying with you, telling you a story. But I used to rob people, and I used to, I used to sell illegal substances, and and just to see these little kids and like, no, I'm providing for them, protecting them, protecting my family, and like, I could have never imagined if you'd have said, what's your, and I see this with you too, like I remember us riding around late at night, back roads in an old hoopty, talking about our dreams, talking about what we wanted in the future, what we knew we were capable of, and we could have never imagined how good it would be now. We dream so much lower than what we are, and now we dream bigger.
I phrased it like this, and I think this kind of like sums up how I feel about my life right now. And then we can get into some of the events that kind of got me in my feels this past couple weeks. But we come from an area where it's not uncommon to drive on the interstate and look up at that Tennessee lottery billboard and just imagine how much better my life would be if I hit the lottery. What would I do with all that money? And then I start looking at my life of like what I've done without it. And it happened to fall on a day where someone at the gym, like something clicked for them that had never clicked before. And someone felt a safety in an environment that's not known for its vulnerability. And then I go through and work all day at that. And I find that like we're doing better than we've ever done before at the gym. The DMs that I could show y'all of who's messaging me about wanting to be on the podcast, to have those kind of conversations. And then I come home, and what I think is the most beautiful woman on this planet has my favorite dinner cooked for me after she's been working all day. And it's like, what lottery? Like,
right, I already hit it. Like, the people that are in my life right now at all levels is so rewarding and so fulfilling that, like, yeah, obviously, $100 million would be pretty dope right now. But, at the same time, it's like, I don't look at that and look that that's what I need to be happy. Right.
Because there's so much positivity and happiness coming from all directions in my life right now. And sometimes it's hard to process. And I didn't really plan on going on this kind of rant, but like, I got a microphone. So let's talk about it, because like sometimes I don't know how to process this amount of happiness. My life's always been balanced because how much I pushed the identity of a professional football player, collegiate football player, when there was other parts of my life that I didn't want anyone to know about, and just how different life is right now.
I mean, the gym is. Let's just talk about the gym for a second. I'm not a member of my best friend's gym. I'm gonna say that publicly. I probably should be, but I walk in there a lot of times. I want to be in there because at some point we both took this turn in life where we went, if your vibes are bad, if they're negative, we've been around so much of that we just push that away, and I only follow my gut and my positivity. And the gym is such a positive place. It's a sanctuary for people, all walks of life, every kind of person, and everybody is helping one another. Everybody's encouraging one another. I see people come in and like, I'll randomly be there for somebody's first, sit down with you and talk.
You also are there more than some members,
which is crazy. But running up a tab, but just seeing somebody come in for a consultation, and somebody 15 years younger than us that thinks the place has a nice Riz, and we're Googling what's
no
that
cap.
mean when they leave. We're bald, so we're all cap.
Yeah, all cap all the time.
But to see them and then see them grow, see them not just become a member of the gym, see them outside of the gym, it becomes a family. I can't think of how many dinners. And the gym has been through things that a person goes through. The whole gym has lost people, important people. The gym has gained people. People have moved away. People have came back. But to see the encouragement, and I know we'll touch on this a little bit with the expo.
Yeah.
You've had a giant week, and that's where you really can see the growth.
Yeah.
Like, even though you feel it, you really see it. But just seeing it actually be a sanctuary, and having people that I've heard in front of me say, I can barely afford my car payment, but I'm making the gym work because it's the only place I feel safer. It's the only place I feel happy. And just knowing you've provided that in a comfortable space where nobody is worried that I'm next to a bodybuilder and maybe my body type isn't that or anything. Everybody's comfortable. Everybody's in a different level. It has been absolutely mind-blowing and amazing to see.
I really appreciate you saying that, because that was all intentional. And it's easier to say this to you, who's someone who's known me almost my entire life. As someone that's known me my entire life, that comes from a fact that, like, I just don't feel like I've ever truly fit in. Now, I'm pretty socially inept of, like, being able to navigate social settings and not feel uncomfortable. But I had to develop that because growing up, being in the church at a young age, but, like, I never was taking that seriously from all, like, the super churchers, because I did like to smoke a little, and I didn't always talk the right way. At Good Pasture, I didn't always fit in because I didn't have the same money and drive as nice of a car as everybody. At TSU, I felt at home, but I still was the white dude.
Right.
The homies that we got, like, down in the hood, growing up with parents together, going to Christian school, it still set us apart. And so it was still like, I never was all the way close, but not all the way in the box of what people expected or wanted from me. And it can be so exhausting trying to be what other people want you to be in life.
Right.
And now to own a business where people come to get exhausted by working out, that was kind of the mantra from the beginning, is like, I want you to come and I want you to leave my gym exhausted. But it's not because when you're here, you're trying to be what anyone wants you to be. Exhaust yourself with the weights. Exhaust yourself with the barbell. But be yourself. And that was kind of the whole mantra going into it, because I got tired of trying to be what other people wanted me to be.
I've seen you take bits and pieces from all the gyms from all the years, because just like your gym, whether I had a membership or not, I seemed to be at every gym you were at, whether it be a private gym or YMCA or wherever. And, like, I think about, like, all the gyms you got kicked out of for screaming.
Yeah.
And, you know, I watch people lift in your gym, and I think, like, if you don't scream, you're a psycho. Like, if you pick
We were talking the other day about having the opposite of a lunk alarm.
Yeah.
Like if you set the weights down too softly, an alarm will go off.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It's like, hey, that was too soft.
Yeah.
Do it again.
But anyway, I felt like I just had to get that off my chest. I didn't know where that was going to go, but I have so many people in my life that I don't know how to thank. I can't really come up with the words to thank everyone enough. And most people that I talk to that I get to thank don't always feel like they're really doing that big of a deal for me.
You probably need to shout out Mindy.
I mean, the list would go on.
Right.
But I mean, at this point, Mindy should like be able to claim me on her taxes.
Absolutely.
But the amount of people that just do a little bit, and they might not feel like they're doing a whole lot, and they see what I do, so they don't feel like what they're doing does that much. But every little piece of everybody that helps all comes together and allows me to live life and do what I want to do and do that and make enough money to still have fun and just to love what I do and to wake up and be excited. Even talking to Christina this morning, she was like, she had to get up early for something. I was like, she's like, I don't know how you do this. To get up early, this sucks. And I was like, well, it does. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not a morning person.
No.
But I told her, I was like, without being corny, like, the life I'm living right now is so fucking awesome that if it takes me waking up a little early every day to make this all possible, I'm just going to keep waking up early, because it sure as hell beats, having to fold up pieces of pizza, stealing them from the gas station, putting them in my pocket because I didn't know how I was going to eat that night, And what I'm doing now is just so beyond where I thought I could actually achieve. It was fun to dream when we were younger, but to actually be here is wild and not what I thought. Like, the last 2 weeks have been so crazy. We've had all these events going on because, like I said, it's Nashville. And you've gotten this, it's been fun bringing everyone on this journey of bringing people on the podcast, finding out about their events, going to their events. Then they want us to do, interviews and VIP at their events. And it's just been so much fun how many opportunities this has all happened. The couple weeks ago, or last week, we had Bobby Devo on, owner, CEO of the Cats. He gave us VIP passes to the game. And he told us, bring the mics, bring the camera. And so all of this started after recording with him and then going to the game itself. So we were at the Municipal Auditorium for the game. And so just to kind of recap the game, and it started off quick and exciting. Right in front of us, there's a guy got hit and his helmet came flying off. And the Cats kind of jumped out early and then started struggling. And kind of what I thought was pretty funny was that the commentator said, the Oregon Lightning struck twice inside Municipal Auditorium, and that led the Cats trailing by halftime. And then the halftime show that happened, Two Live Bree, he's got that song. He did some songs from his new album, Human Butterfly, that was voted Best New Album. And then he finished with filming part of his music video for his new single that's gone super viral, Southern Country Girl. When he sang that, of course, we were up on the first level of the catwalk, getting to watch his halftime performance up there, which was a great perspective. You could see everybody was dancing, everything like that, and he's, it's a vibe. I need a 5-5, good time.
It's so neat too to see somebody's career jumping off, and you get that feeling that, like, hey, they're going places.
Yeah. So I got to interview him before he went out there. So, getting to talk to someone that's just juiced up about to do something was so much fun. And then being able to be up on that catwalk and watch his performance. and to watch all people of all walks of life. We got to sit there and interview fans, to sit there and talk to a guy from Laverne that was wearing like 1994 Cats gear, Cats jerseys, excited that it's there. You know, kids were there with the new jerseys on, and all colors, all walks of life were all sitting there dancing to, you know, I need a Southern country girl. Like, it was just, he did a great job, and it was cool seeing up there at that from that level. And then one of the things I've been waiting to see is then we got to watch the second half kickoff from up at the tip-top catwalk, 120 feet up in the air. Got to talk to Bobby again. At the end of this episode, you're going to see these interviews. That one is wild. You can tell how scared I was.
You're not scared of heights, but 120 feet's up there.
It wasn't even just the height. It's that
you can see through the catwalk.
they tell you don't look down, right? But like, we're walking on a little catwalk, and there's ropes and cords and bulbs that we're stepping over, and so you got to watch your footing. But it's a grate. So looking down at my footing so I don't step and trip over something, I'm looking 120 feet down. There was like a I don't even know what you call it, a connected bridge from one catwalk to the other catwalk. And, I mean, that thing, I mean, it was just swinging, man.
And Ezra's looking through a camera.
Yeah, I was so afraid I was so afraid to drop something. And, like, if he dropped his camera, the camera's gone.
Right.
But if that lands on a player, when we just watched the second half kickoff, you know, we're over the field. So, I mean, if that goes on the field, like, Bobby was up there still sweating from being in the mascot suit.
That's not how we want to go viral.
No. He was in there in some slick dress shoes.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, we sat down, we interviewed Bobby Devo. Super interesting, down to earth. CEO of 4 companies?
4
companies. So CEO of 4 companies. As soon as the camera's turned off, we get on the elevator, we walk outside. Hey, what are you doing after this? This man said, going to pick up a van myself. And then he went to the flea market.
Yep.
And put on the mascot uniform.
Mascot.
Not to mention, it was 75, 80 degrees in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
So it's hot, it's muggy in there. And he wore it for a couple hours and passed out tickets.
Yep.
And how can you not respect that?
And, well, except even further, because when we interviewed him on the show, we didn't know that that's what he's going to do. Here's this big CEO not thinking he's going to put on a sweaty mascot costume and bounce around. The guy that was supposed to be in there called out and wasn't able to be at the game. So when it's time for, like, crowd interaction, Bobby, who has a suit on, changes to the Cool Cat, and he's going all through the crowd, dancing around, jumping around, doing the in-crowd mascot stuff, and then having to go back, change, slick his hair back, and then go, like, you know, handshake and, you know, talk to the people. And then he could go back and, you know, and even interviewing one of the players after the game. He was talking to, like, even the player recognized that, like, he doesn't mind doing the dirty work and enjoys doing the dirty work that probably an owner or CEO shouldn't do. And he's doing every bit of it. So that's everyone's opinion of him. Whether you're a player, like, I mean,
he's
with what Jeff Fisher said about Bobby.
He's rolling up turf.
Yeah.
He's picking up trash till the lights go out in the building.
Yeah. I mean, I invited him out after the game, and that was what he said. I got to make sure everything's cleaned up. And
how can you say no to him, too? Because when you work for somebody that's willing
I immediately
to do,
picked up a bottle on the floor. I'm like, yeah, we got to clean up. Like,
when you work for a guy that he's done the dirty work, you can't. We're in an era where people like to say, "I'm not doing that" or "I'm above that." Mm-hmm. And like when you see somebody who may not need the money, but believes in a dream so much that he's picking up trash, he's rolling up turf, he's getting in a sweaty costume to do whatever it takes to make this dream work. Man, that's respectable.
Yeah. Getting to be around Bobby for pretty much the better part of 2 days in a row, I would say pretty much changed my life.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
Take it in.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we got to go back to work tomorrow. Like, can I go where Bobby's going?
Yeah.
Like, but
I'll hold the umbrella for you.
You know, the way the game happened, Came out good right after halftime. We were trailing a little bit. Oh, and then on top of all of that, which you'll see in the interview, but then like we were sitting there talking and we were talking about the game, and before we started recording, he was giving me a opinion of what we need to work on as a team because we're trailing by 2 at halftime. And it's like, so you're doing all of this and you know what's going on the field. And he's like, well, that's the most important part. That's what we're here for. And it's like, to hear a business dude talk about the importance of the on-field stuff from the players, man, I wish I could have played for him. But, you know, the Cats came out swinging, really stacked up a lead there in the early in the first or the second half. And so then Oregon tried to, like, come back. And just at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. We won the game 40-32. You know, to watch Jeff Fisher hand the new head coach a game ball after the game in the locker room. I mean, it was the energy is up. We've got the June 14th is the next home game up in Clarksville at F&M Bank Arena. That is the Salute to Service game up there near Fort Campbell. I'm excited for that one. And if they keep going like they are going, then we'll be back in Municipal for some playoffs.
And I may be wrong, but I think Charlie Daniels' band's going to be there.
Yep.
Charlie Daniels will not be there, but the band will be there.
the Charlie Daniels band will be there.
His band.
Yeah. But that's still really cool that someone like that's playing.
Yeah.
That's going to be a crowd pleaser up in Clarksville for sure.
Legendary musicians.
Yes. Super talented. So June 14th, F&M Bank Arena in Clarksville, Tennessee. June 14th, we'll see you there. That was such a cool event to see arena football that I saw a lot of, but only from a player's perspective. To be able to like see it kind of through Bobby's eyes and literally from a bird's eye, being up there, literally in the rafters. I'm not really scared of heights, but man, I was so nervous.
It's got to give you a better understanding, too, with the teams you played for in Arena League.
Yeah.
What either was or wasn't going on behind the scenes now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know.
It's so crazy. Going from there, part of what took a lot of my bandwidth as of recent, we had the 2025 Music City Fit Expo. I do Tennessee's Strongest Man there at the Expo, and it grew this year. They added some events, arm wrestling, sumo wrestling. There was a bodybuilding show. That was all new from last year. On top of the strongman competition is the biggest show that I've ever had, 74 registrations.
Wild.
Yeah. And just everything at the expo is just so awesome. People are so happy. Like, it's not, you know, when I started in strongman, I mean, there were some competitions that were literally in a park, some big barn on someone's property that someone rented. And to be able to have the opportunity to do strongman on that level at that stage and be a part of the expo and everything that Roy and Terry do for that, and continuing to grow that, the brand names. I mean, it's really started from like, let's celebrate fitness in the Music City to now. I mean, there were mattress companies there. First Form was there. Like,
wow.
It is not limited to just Music City. It's not limited to fitness. There was a lot of education going on and like new brands and things like that. It was crazy. Jay Cutler being there for 2 days. Arguably, if Ronnie Coleman never existed, Jay Cutler, I think, would be considered the greatest of all time. I mean, you got Arnold, but of that era,
yeah. It
just sucks for Jay that he was on the same stage as Ronnie Coleman.
at that event.
But he's still doing stuff. He's, is still in great shape. The dude is still just jacked. I mean, poor Ronnie can barely walk right now, but
phenomenal. I mean, I put him up there with watching him, especially with what he did here. It just, his focus in a game changed the whole team, changed the whole establishment.
Yeah. You had Brian Shaw, World's Strongest Man, doing stuff on Friday, which we got to do that. Thank you to Terry and Roy to do that. not on the same day as the strongman
I
competition.
thought Mark Henry was world's strongest man.
Well, depends on who you ask. Depends on what room you're in, what arena you're at. He's definitely one of my favorites of the combination of wrestling and strongman, which is kind of fitting for this show right now. Because, I mean, the expo was great. The way it was put on, there was some issues with some parking. I got to talk to Terry about some of the emails I got. I'm going to just forward them to him.
Terry?
But, I mean, again, just what Nashville is. I mean, doing all of that at the same time as a soccer game right there on the fairgrounds.
What a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if there were 10 spots and you're like, man, we barely filled them, but you're running out of parking. Like, these are Cadillac problems.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, and Roy does drive a Cadillac. He looks like a stereotypical bad guy in some, like,
80s movie.
Tubi show or something.
Yeah.
But the expo was absolutely incredible. The fact that it's gone to 2 days instead of just one. I mean, this is becoming an event that is a must watch. I personally am very biased and think that the strongest man, Tennessee's strongest, is the biggest draw of the day. We have the bleachers that are filled from 9 in the morning until about 4 in the afternoon. With the crowd all around us to see strongman and that many people doing a niche thing and that kind of cheers and stuff. It's like, it's unreal that what these athletes, some of them are novice, the amount of people that this was their first show, and kind of going back to even why like something like this gets me in my feels. This is like my 40th something show to put on or be a part of, compete in. And at this point, it's kind of business. I get really locked in on just like the business side of running these events. But after the show, there was a girl. She competed, not in my events, but she's competed in strongman before. And she was so emotional, like almost to tears. And talking to her, she was one that she likes strongman because she can celebrate what her body can do. But she told me that was the first time that she'd enjoyed competing in strongman. Like the first time it was fun for her. Wow. And sometimes we build these bubbles of our own that are filled with problems because they're our problems. Right. That we kind of lose sight of like what strongman is in other cities. What are other people going through? All of those kind of things. And so to provide an atmosphere that always want to make it fun.
Everybody's cheering everybody on. It's one of the only.
But to imagine, and like it was really cool for my people, our community, to hear people express things like that because most of them in our community, this is the only exposure to strongman that they have is through me.
Right. And
so for them to hear that wherever they do strongman like isn't as fun, and it's like that's not what strongman is. And it gives people a little bit better perspective of what we have here. And I don't know, I was talking to a client and these conversations kind of got interchanged with like talking about problems and traumas and stresses and things we got to deal with and the bubbles we build around ourselves. I had a client tell me that he had a therapist tell him one time that if you wrote your biggest problem down, whatever's weighing you down in life that feels like it's holding you back in life of something that's something you didn't ask for. And you wrote that down and, everybody in this room wrote their problems and down and like set it on this table. And you could trade with someone else. And then you see what other people are writing down. More often than not, you're picking your own paper back up because you know how to deal with your own problems. You've adapted. And I don't know, that really resonated with the fact of like, we create these little bubbles in our communities and sometimes we forget what other people are dealing with or how other people do something similar that we do. And if you enjoy what you're doing here, it might not be that way everywhere else. And just the feedback from the competitors and things like that of what this particular event like meant to them. I mean, I had a guy compete that helped get me into strongman 11 years ago. And to have full circle, instead of him teaching me how to clean a log, now I'm putting on an event that he's competing at, and like him talking about how like that kind of like re-sparked his vigor for competitive and for lifting and being strong again. Like it was just, I mean, all these events are always emotional.
Right.
Anything that's physical is twice as mental as it is physical, but everything, there was just so many full circle moments that have happened on different things for the last 2 weeks that I just feel like I've been walking around on a cloud and just like, I don't know, just soaking it all in.
To me, it's confirmation that
Yeah.
you're on the right path, that you're doing something right, because they're not coincidences. They're not, a guy that showed you things in strongman. It's like this dude's doing it now, and here I am competing at his competition. That's just got to be wild.
And to know what people are going through, because I try to have empathy. Now people that I'd say are my peers are, they have husbands, they have wives, they have kids now, and to like watch people sacrifice to be able to do something like a competition or whatever, the time and effort it takes in to get better, just to go into the gym, even if you're, a group fitness member that's not competing, but like to watch people sacrifice to really like buy in to what I'm offering has just been like really, like the gratitude has been like really smacking me in the face the last couple weeks. Lastly, all of this wrapped up after that kind of day in the expo with that many people. I mean, I haven't heard the full numbers from Terry, but I'm sure it's bigger than people. Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
Everything we're talking about is something that's growing. They brought the arena football back where it was last year versus like where the Cats are this year. The expo was huge last year, but to see what they did this year was incredible. To be in such a season of growth that I'm in, I don't think it's a coincidence that it seems like everything that I'm somehow being able to touch is also things that are in the season of growth. And I think that's part of why I have such a love for the hometown and the city of Nashville, is because it's continuing to grow. It was growing when we were kids. It's growing now. And if you surround yourself with the right people and have the right mindset,
The Music City
mindset, you can be a part of that growth. But because there is so much growth going on, I feel like it forces you to be genuine and authentic. And I think it sifts out the people that are doing it for the wrong reasons.
It's another confirmation for me of I thought we were biased because we're from Nashville. We have such deep roots here and have such a love for the city that I thought we have tunnel vision. But to see so many people move here, so many people embrace the city, want to help the city, and love the same city I love, it's like, okay, all right, y'all see it too.
Yeah, 100%, which is why I even wanted to do this show. Because I know you've had the conversations with people that fall out of love because it's not the same Nashville they grew up
Right.
with. And people get upset because this restaurant closed or, something happened and now this friend is having to move away because they're just so burnt out and, things like that. And that happens almost every day in a city like this. But to see the people that the Adams that come back and call this home, to hear Bobby talk about he wanted to make a run to make this city his. There's such love and growth that can be here.
Manit is like, we're going to be New Yorkers and we're going to have a spot in Nashville. And then not only did their son decide I'm going to be born in Nashville early, but they just felt it in their hearts that they were like, this is where we're meant to be. Talking about Bobby Devo, cleaning up trash, rolling up turf, putting on a costume. I know you're not going to talk about it, but behind the scenes, I know you're getting box trucks, you're moving weights, heavy equipment, stuff I don't even want to think about picking up, and you're taking it across town, setting up, and then as soon as it's over, and you're on that high, more people than ever, emotional, and then it's like, hey, at the end of the day, this is where the work comes in. You pack it all up and take it back to the gym. That's something that you don't ever want to move, if in my eyes. And
I mean, strongman
gladly.
equipment is awkward and hard to lift as it is. That's the nature of what sets us apart from powerlifting or whatever. But moving strongman equipment from one location to another is probably worse than actually lifting it. I want to figure out a way to get those rubber mats into an actual competition as part of the lifting, not just what you stand on, because those are the worst parts. And you got to move them last because they're on the floor. You know, I hate moving the big rubber mats, but I mean that is such a big part of it. And normally it's getting everything done as quickly as possible, and then we just go out. And it's not really something I advertise. But if you know, you know, and when those comps are done, we go party.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all earned it.
Yeah.
This year, there was just so much emotion with everything, and not just the expo, not just everything that was during that competition, but like what I keep talking about, everything else that other aspects of going on in my life. We went and, we got pizza and went to the place next door and, had some drinks. And then once it was time for everybody's like, okay, now we're going here and here. And it's like, for the first time, I was like, actually, I'm going to take it to the crib. And I just so I could sit there, not distracted and process.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if the drinks kept flowing, there was a chance that the sobriety involved or lack of would prevent me from fully soaking in. And what I was feeling in those moments, I didn't want to lose. And the only way I knew how to hold on to that for as long as possible was to just not after we had some drinks after dinner, I just had to go to the house and I just kind of, I made some notes of what worked, what didn't work, and just kind of really sat in those feelings. And that's the first time I've really done that. Normally it's just a straight party all nighter after some of these comps, and for the feelings that happened here, just trying to, next year's not guaranteed. I mean, we're talking about doing an expo. I'm sure he's going to do the expo, right? But nothing's guaranteed. And I didn't want another day to go by without really soaking in what kind of fulfillment these things give. Because then the next day after the expo, we had Pro Wrestling Symphony at Brooklyn Bowl, which on the outside, it's a part of a big building that has other businesses in it and things like that. But once you get inside, the stained glass up top and all of that, it was just it's such a cool venue. People are having fun. It's hard to, who doesn't have fun at a bowling alley? But it's also a concert, so the music was great because it's Music City. And to watch someone do something for the first time. I just put on, I don't know the numbers, but my over 40th show that I've been a part of for Strongman. And we ran it like clockwork. I had the right people in the right places. I can't begin to take the credit, but we ran one hell of a show. So then to come to the next day and just be able to watch what other people do when they're doing something for the first time and watching people figure it out, trial by fire. It's just really, really cool to know, I don't even go back and watch the first podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did them, but I feel like we've gotten a lot better. And so, thinking about my first shows, competitions that I put on as a promoter. So, but to see how good of an event they put on and knowing how much better they could even be from that, because we're growing.
Right.
And is just like super exciting that something new that hasn't been a staple in this city for a long time, is back and done well.
I'm going to put this out there. I think in the next 5 years, y'all going to be at the convention center. I think things are going to blow up. I just got a feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. I mean, I like watching what people do. I like watching people put events on. I like watching the event, but I almost like watching the people put the event on.
You got a secret sauce, though, that you don't talk about a lot, and that's your mama.
Oh.
Being at the competition, because if you come to a competition, everybody first falls in love with your mom.
She's a very, very special lady.
I mean, how many people come up to you and go, "I met your mom," and
like a bunch all day long, because she has a good idea of what's going on now, and she listens to every episode. She's going to hear this, but like, she has a good idea of what's going on, but she's so afraid of telling someone the wrong thing that basically if they have a question on what something costs, how they should do something, she'll have people come to me. And so the amount of people that'll come to me and be like, "Hey, I was just talking to your mom. Do you want to do this?" Like whatever it is. Yeah. So just how involved, how many people talk to my mom, and that's just the ones that come up to me. It's so cool to like still have her be a part. I mean, growing up, she was at every game, even if it was out of town. So to have her at these events and things like that is still super special to me.
Oh, yeah. And
the amount of people that call her mom at the gym.
She's in a great space in her life.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of people that are walking by her go, "Hey, mom, hey, mama." And like, I mean, she's just mama at the gym.
I told her the other day, I said, "You're going to have to stop smiling and glowing because you're going to end up with a boyfriend."
I mean, she could if she wanted to, I'm sure. Yeah. But Pro Wrestling Symphony, they put on one hell of an event. They got another one coming up July 1st, I believe, at Brooklyn Bowl. Back there again. And it's going to be some revenge matches going there to kind of recap the card that was the first ever Pro Wrestling Symphony at Brooklyn Bowl. Kaya McKenna and Big Booty Judy. Shout out Big Booty Judy.
Yep.
They defeated the Collab. Adrian the Crocodile Thomas survived the first ever Symphony Scramble. Freya the Slayer, I'm thinking is how that was said. Freya the Slayer defeated the beautiful Caitlin Alexis. I think that would have the choke slam that Freya the Slayer gave to Caitlin Alexis, I think would have broke my back. I don't know how Caitlin got up from that and eventually walked out of the ring. But inherently that's what put her out and got her defeated there. The local tag teams, the Royal Prestige, defeated Fresh Air. And then before the main event, the wrestler Beef won his first match through a disqualification because the gatekeeper of Southern Wrestling is what the guy was called, threw powder in his face.
Right.
And got a dequalification. So he walked away with the win there. I mean, you never know what you're going to see at these wrestling events of what people are going to try to do to get one over on somebody else. But then there was the main event. Our boy, friend of the program, Colby the Code Carter, came against a former WWE superstar in Donovan Dijak. And I could tell Colby was in the moment. He was locked in, but you could tell he's moving real fast, a little nervous. He was trying to wait and see what Donovan was going to give him. And that's where like the experience of being on that WWE stage really helped Donovan out. He was just kind of waiting for the moment Colby would kind of pause to see what Donovan's doing. Boom. But every time he would come at Colby, Colby would counter. So he knew what to do when things were happening. And then, so it was like Donovan was winning, but Colby wasn't completely out of it. And then there was a moment there where Donovan powerbomb, choke slammed Colby. He lifted him up towards the rafters and just brought him down. I thought that was going to be over. I thought that was done for Colby at that point. He was kind of dazed. Donovan got him up on the top turnbuckle and was about to suplex him off the top rope. And Colby had one last counter in him and ended up suplexing Donovan off the top rope. And at that point, I think they were just that was it. Colby, Donovan started to get up. Colby just curb stomped him. And that was all she wrote. He got down there, got the pin, and all you heard was 1, 2, 3, and you couldn't hear anything after that because the entire Brooklyn Bowl was just Colby, Colby, Colby.
He's a star in the making, man.
Man, I mean, hometown kid, Mr. Nashville. They loved him. He had to work for it. He had to earn it. He got the nod from Donovan once Donovan got up from that curb stomp he gave him, and it was kind of a passing of a torch situation of letting us know that even a former WWE superstar says that, like, hey, this dude's legit.
Right.
He didn't have to do that, but he gave Colby his flowers as he kind of just walked off the stage while the whole crowd was chanting Colby. And, I mean, what a way to end that whole thing.
I mean, I'm a lifelong wrestling fan.
Yep.
Nashville, deep history from the fairgrounds to Memphis, and even in Hendersonville with my family, deep wrestling history, seen a lot of wrestling. Could be considered a snob in a way.
Yeah,
but
purist almost.
What I would like to say is that you don't want to be late getting on the bandwagon with Pro Wrestling Symphony because we had the territories, we've had everything, but the athleticism from Colby all the way down the card is, if you like AEW, if you like WWE, this is here. You ain't got to wait 6 months till they do something here.
Yep, they got something coming up in a month.
They got something coming up in a month, and if you want a show that is worth the money, I mean, we have highlighted the Cats, the same deal. A show that's worth the money. It's affordable. It's a badass time. It's a great time for you, the family, date, you name it. Pro Wrestling Symphony, the same. If you're a wrestling fan, you want to get in on this now. You want to see it now because some of these people will move on and be superstars, and you'll go.
I don't know how much longer they can hold on to Colby.
Right, because they're gonna in a year or if that, they're gonna be saying, "Man, he was at. I saw him in Nashville," and people are gonna be mad that they didn't get to see it. I mean, seeing somebody in their early days before they get developed or anything, they could take Colby right now and throw him on the card. And really don't need to do anything.
Yeah, he's about as polished as I've seen anybody be at this level. Even Tulav Bree, being able to say that I got an interview with him, as viral as he's going, it's only going to be up for him. I saw videos with him and Buck and things like that. So he's about to take off, and to know that got to see him early. I feel lucky. I feel honored to be a part of anybody's early on. And I mean, that everything we just talked about has literally been like in the last week and a half.
And I mean, we say that, and people don't understand what we've seen. We were at Jelly Roll's first ever concert. You couldn't count the times that we've seen somebody and said, "Hey, this guy's got something," and then it might take a little while. Everybody thinks it's overnight, even with Tennessee's Strongest Man and stuff. It's not. It is hard work, years in the making. We don't talk a lot about the past. We've touched on it a little bit today, but with all these people, it's so rewarding to see somebody putting in the work early and then see them finally get their flowers. Which, I mean, you going home after the competition, you got to stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
You got to take it in.
Had to. It was different. I mean, I can't act like I wasn't just exhausted, and that couch sounded real good. But you have to, because if looking back at some of the episodes, a common question that we've all kind of asked, like when people talk about their coming up and how what they're doing now has been, are you able to like soak in what you're doing now? And every single one of them like, Oh, every single day. And how lucky are they get to like live a life where there's something to soak in every day. And I'm almost glad I grew up where there wasn't something to soak in every day.
Right.
Because now it feels like there is. And doing this show and talking to people and figuring out how they do things has been huge for my mindset, to just understand how to deal with some of this stuff. And I don't know, it's been a wild couple weeks. And the events just keep coming. So this is going to open up something else.
You got the Pride
we got the Pride deadlift party tomorrow. So I'm sure I'll recap and refill in on that. But man, there's a lot happening. This is a great place to be, and I'm just lucky to be here.
You got a high school reunion coming up, bro. You're getting old.
My 20-year reunion's tomorrow,
20
too.
Twankies.
Ezra over there still in high school.
Yeah, man. You'll blink and you'll be talking about 20 years.
You'll blink and you'll have your own podcast.
Yeah, he'll be like, Ezra's homeschooled though, so he'll be like, me, mom, dad got together for the 20-year reunion.
Terry took me out to dinner.
We celebrated. He still owes me my paycheck, but yeah.
Ooh, man, this has been a wild show. Not really the show I thought, but maybe the show that I needed. I hope it helped y'all maybe get a little bit better understanding of who you listen to when you tune into this show. I don't know how else to say it. I feel like the luckiest dude in the world, and living such a lucky, dumb life that we're doing right now. And this is really just all getting started. That's what I think some of the feelings and emotions come from, is like, this does feel like, as awesome as it is right now, where if it was all done right now, it was one hell of a run, but it just feels like we're just now getting started. I was lucky enough to be able to do some of the interviews during the game, talking to fans, talking to players, talking to Bobby up in the rafters, and even got to talk to Jeff Fisher after the game, owner of the entire AF1 league, or the commissioner of the league, as well as owner of the Cats, and got to chop it up with him. Great conversation, great answers. We're going to take a break here to hear a word from our sponsors, and when we come back from that break, you're going to get to see all of these interviews with all of these people. So all this conversation will hopefully make a little bit more sense for you. We'll also be posting the interviews as well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me get some of this off of my chest. It sounded like I needed to. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. If y'all like this episode, please hit subscribe, hit follow, reshare what we post. And for the love of Nashville, tune into the next one.
At Optimize You, we believe that normal is not optimal. Whether you've been dabbling in hormones or this is your first time and you want to know where to get started, we make the hormone optimization process very simple. Simply get started with comprehensive labs, and our providers will take it from there with you to review where you are right now and where you want to be to ultimately help you achieve your health and performance-related goals. So from our expertise in hormones, peptides, all the way to recovery services, we want you feeling at your optimized best so that you ultimately feel better physically, mentally, and sexually. Just like hormones playing a significant role in the overall optimization of your health, so do recovery services help your body on a cellular level. From our sensory lounge to our infrared sauna, full body red light, full body cryotherapy, cold plunge, we have a wide range of performance recovery services just for you.
Hello, this is Blake Harris here with the Music City Mindset, and we are coming to Municipal Auditorium, Nashville Cats game. I have a longtime fan with me. Sir, what is your name and where are you from?
Don McKee, Laverne, Tennessee.
From Laverne. I love the hat. It jumped out at me. I had to ask you about it. How long have you been a Cats fan?
Since they came to town the first time, with Andy Kelly and Corey Fleming and Baronis and that bunch.
That was some good football back then, for sure. So how do you feel
about them bringing the Cats back? The name, the logo, all of it.
I like the idea they brought it back, and hopefully they'll get it settled in to where it's back every year.
I think we all feel the same there. What is your favorite part about indoor football that's different from the outdoor?
The speed of the game.
Oh, it's so fast. Yeah. All right, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hey, so this is Blake Harris. This is the Music City Mindset, and we are here at Municipal Auditorium at the Nashville Cats game. I am here with a local legend. He's a local rapper. You might have seen him on Netflix's Rhythm and Flow, or mentoring new artists on some Shine. What? Yeah. Hey, his latest album, Human Butterfly, just won Album of the Year. His song, Southern Country Girl, just dropped. It's out now. Welcome to the show, 2 Live Brian.
Oh, my God. Hey, this man is impressive. He got all his stuff going on. Thank you for having me on your platform today.
Absolutely. So what was it like, the whole Netflix experience, before, after? Like, how did that happen? And, how's that changed everything since then?
Man, it's definitely changed everything, man. I was at TSU. I was just being a kid.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
And as well.
We was taking over the campus, and then I got a call from Jesse Collins to be on the show, and we made it happen. But yeah, that show, it just changed my perspective of music, and I'm grateful to all the artists that was on that show, because everybody's a superstar, but it just put a lot of light in me. So yeah.
Man, it was really fun watching you put on for Nashville. Yeah. I enjoyed watching all the episodes, man. Man, just happy for you, happy for the city. If you could have any artist, now that you are who you are, that you'd want to do a song with, locally or not, but who would you want to do a song with?
And right now, my brother Jelly Roll, tell him let's get it, let's make it happen. We finna do something big real soon. You know that. That's my brother. Let's go.
Hey, that would be so fire. All right. Hey, thanks for your time. I appreciate you coming through.
Let's go.
Congrats on everything, man.
All right, see you soon. Hey, bro. Thank you for that.
Yeah. My name is Blake Harris. We are coming to you from Municipal Auditorium at the Nashville Cats game. We are here with owner, CEO of the Nashville Cats. This has been a great turnout. We're here at halftime. Bobby, we are up here on the catwalk. You can now, from a bird's eye view, literally take in the crowd and they had to move the fabric out of the way to get more seats in here. How does it make you feel seeing what you built and seeing it from this perspective?
Thank you. I wanted to come up here just to see it and pinch myself, because to pull this off in the time frame that we did, we packed the house in my book tonight. Yeah. I could not ask for a better metric. I couldn't thank Nashville, the community, more for coming out and supporting us on this weekend, and people are just having fun. People are dancing and great. This fuels me for the next round. It fuels me to stay up and do this again and again and again. And the guys are having a good time, and we're losing at halftime because of some bad plays, but they're fighters. So we're up here just watching away, man. We had to take it in from a bird's eye view. Sometimes you got to get a different perspective to get the real view.
A different mindset, if you will. Man, Bobby, it's just been an honor to watch you navigate and watch you work today. Even the fact that you can break down the game as to why we're trailing by 2 coming out of halftime and things like that, but you've been running around here taking care of everything, doing it yourself, and the fact that you still have that passion and care for knowing what's happening on the field. It's just, you're blowing me away, man.
Oh, hey, man, we're here for the community, but first and foremost, we got to take care of our guys. We depend on the guys to play football out there, so I want to pay attention to what they're doing. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I was Cool Cat earlier, the mascot, for a couple hours because our guy called in sick last minute, wanting to get in that suit, and for good reason. I haven't stopped sweating since. But you know what? I appreciate you guys coming up here at 120 feet from the ground, from the field.
I almost didn't want to know how high it was.
It's 120 feet, babe. We're standing, our feet are above the 10-yard, 15-yard line right now, 120 feet down.
This is wild. It's just so cool to watch someone with some real passion bring indoor football back. When I talk about how passionate I am about the game from my years of playing, it's hard to explain to people. You can't put this kind of juice in a bottle, unfortunately. Bobby, you've done a great job. This is super exciting. You got fans for life over here. I appreciate you. This is Bobby Devo. My name is Blake Harris. We are at the Nashville Cats game, and this is the Music City Mindset. Hi, this is Blake Harris. This is the Music City Mindset. We are here from Municipal Auditorium at the Nashville Cats home game, and we are here with an absolute legend. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears in the '81 NFL Draft. He was a collegiate national champion. He was a Super Bowl champion. Absolute legend here for the city of Nashville. Coach in the NFL for 22 years, Coach Jeff Fisher. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything you're doing, bringing arena football back to the city of Nashville.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been an enjoyable experience, and when we were doing our thing here in town, the Cats were doing their thing, and didn't pay a lot of attention to it for obvious reasons. We're just so busy and
busy winning.
Yeah, busy winning. We had some rough Sundays as well,
we did.
But we got it going. So, when I was approached a couple years ago just to help, I said sure, and so the more and more I got involved, and the more and more interested I became, and here we are. So it's great to have the Cats back. A lot of people worked really hard over the last couple of weeks, so during the bye week especially, but to be able to come off away with a win, number one, but you look around and everybody had a big time. They had a good time, and that's what's the most important thing to us.
It was absolutely electric in there. As someone who played some indoor football, you don't get crowds like that very often, so y'all crushed it on that side, and winning does pretty much solve everything.
Yeah,
my question for you, you saw a lot of football with your eyes, but mostly outdoor football. What is something that's different about the indoor game that really intrigued you?
What's becoming more important, more and more apparent to me is that you've got position-specific players. People think, "Oh man, the quarterback. Oh, if you got a quarterback that can run around like a Lamar or something like that, then well, go get him." But no, it's not that simple. The quarterback position has got a quick release. He's got to be really smart, do all these things. The corners have to have long arms and be able to run and make plays on balls. And you're looking for big receivers and then big guys up front. So you just can't plug somebody in, and I mean it takes a while for guys to learn this game, and that's the cool thing about it. And when you got guys that have been playing this game, the 50-yard game for 8-10 years, and just doing it because of the love of the game, it's really cool. And then they all understand how important the fans are, and the interaction, and you saw that all night long. I mean, you had players going, the game's out of reach, you got a deep ball down the field, and the receivers, he's going over the board looking for it, and the plays over, the DB keeps him from going over the board. They help each other up. So love the sportsmanship. On occasion there's some chippiness and things like that, but yeah, it's been a really cool thing for me over the last couple of years getting to become a part of this game.
Well, it definitely legitimizes it, having your name attached to it. We love you. We love everything you did to the city as someone who grew up here, born and raised. Appreciate everything you've done. The show's called Music City Mindset. It's about the mindset to have what it takes to stay here in the city of Nashville. So with your career here, not originally from Nashville, what was something for the last is a mindset switch that you had to go through to kind of endure some of those tough Sundays like you had mentioned earlier?
Well, it's really my mindset's always been from the moment we stepped into Tennessee with my family and my kids and raised everybody here, was to figure out some way to give back, because of this city's blessed my family beyond imagination, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give back, and I'll never give back what Nashville gave to me. But how can you not spend time in Nashville and not give back to Nashville? I don't understand. I don't. That's mind-boggling for people. You got to give back here. That's what it's all about.
I mean, and that's something just a testament of the city. Thank you. That's why we do this. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Harris with the Music City Mindset. We are here at the Nashville Cats game. We just got a big W here. Yep. And in that, during the celebration, when we kind of knew where the tides were turning of how this game was going to go, you went over here after making a play, and you celebrated with one of the owners, Bobby Devo.
Yeah.
What is it like because I've gotten to know him really good the past couple days. I would love to play for him. What's it like playing for a guy like Bobby?
I mean, Bobby comes in every day. He always shows up for us above and beyond. Sometimes he even goes as far as doing the dirty work that he, as an owner, he probably shouldn't even do, but he still goes above and beyond to make sure that we are taken care of as players.
Man, that's all he's been talking about, is talking about taking care of y'all. Most, I feel like y'all needed to hear that, and so that your feelings, your sentiments that you're expressing are accurate. That being said, let's talk about the game here. Got the W. What is it, kind of struggled there for a little bit, kind of hang in there. What was it that really turned over and allowed us to get this win?
Really, we came back in at the halftime. We said, man, it's really us. We fighting against ourselves. It's nothing that they was doing. It's all about us. And we came in the mindset we can't let them think that they can stay in this game with us.
Yep. All right. Well, that was Kyle Davis. We are here at the Cats game, and go Cats. Claws out.
Claws out.